Welcome to Death Tower, the greatest game show on Earth, where Conrad immediately just runs right into a mine. Look, this is the point where it starts to get a little bit more difficult in terms of combat and everything. New Washington was a lot about just trying to go around getting money and everything like that, but this is, like, I actually had to figure out how to do all the fighting mechanics and everything. Well, many tips and tricks that happen there. And still, one of the most annoying things is the fact that those, the zappy balls, totally immune to melee, which is what makes them probably the most difficult enemy to deal with in this area. I was talking last time about how, like, the cyborg guys that I was fighting were sort of like a mini boss. Oh no, they're just the regular enemy that you fight now.
So this
they were supposed to be like rogues from this show, so I guess that makes sense. But
I can't tell.
Ready for a lot of rolling around.
This looks very hard. I don't know. I'm just like looking at this. It doesn't look like, oh, you know, this isn't like some Metal Gear Solid, but it's like, it's pretty detailed. Like for a 2D puzzler, like these are some wild puzzle like platforms.
I mean, yeah, at this point in time, it's like this is, yeah, there was like more platforming focus and whatnot at the start of the game. This is like approaching puzzle game. I found out that every single time you go to a screen transition, take out your gun. I found out that it's just like, yeah, figure out exactly how enemies like interact with each other, because they can fight each other. That is important too. And stuff like exactly how this guy works, which normally he should have been actually hit by that mine. That was sort of the plan, but it didn't quite work. Also, by the way, if you're wondering, enemies can follow you between screens, but only if they're on the same X level as you.
Oh, okay.
Which, again, very important for the future. The little zappy balls especially, which can fly, are just... They have a tendency to not like to follow you to like much more advantageous areas for yourself.
I love that there's just a minor detail, but like it just says TV show. All like, oh, you're in a TV show. This is a TV show. Like that's how you know. Like not cameras everywhere, just the actual like text TV show on a big sign in fancy letters next to the name of the television show you're on.
There is also a bunch of cameras and like lights and everything everywhere too. You'd think that would be whatever.
I mean, they do both. Yeah. I was watching this video compiling some of the Blade Runner dialogue with the monologue that Harrison Ford had over all of Blade Runner, which I did not know about, but apparently was a real thing. He's just like, yeah, that Roy Batty, he was. He lived longer than all of us combined in his short time on Earth.
That was the entire thing. By the way, that first area is kind of interesting because you have to go to one side and then you have to go to the other. And you can do it in any order because it's just like it just opens up the door on the opposite side. I think going right and then left is easier comparatively. Okay. Yeah, those guys, the cyborgs especially, have a really nice tendency to be able to use their melee faster than you can. But yeah, Blade Runner, it's just like, no, they knew what they were doing with that whole big old monologue at the end of that.
I mean, I'm not talking...
To be honest...
Yep. No, you gotta understand, this is Harrison Ford delivering, a noir text. Like, he's delivering, like, oh yeah, like a gumshoe detective kind of thing. They had him give a bunch of monologue in like the studio cut, or in the theater cut.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways I kind of like that because it sort of explained what was happening a little bit better, but, you know, I understand also why a lot of people like the director's cut a lot more, you know?
Well, I don't know if it was all of it, because that was just a compilation, but it was like they were just explaining the themes of the things that were just, I thought they were clearly explained through the actual movie. Like, it's like, oh yeah, you know.
True.
Like,
and they were, but I don't hate that version of the movie. Okay.
Okay. Fair enough.
Of course, it's like I have not actually seen the entirety of Blade Runner, but yeah, it was the theater cut that I did see.
Oh,
so.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like I'm only too well aware of all of that.
It's a lot better without the monologue. I'm just gonna say that right now.
I feel like I'm not as much of a fan of Blade Runner as a lot of other people. But then again, I guess I haven't seen the entire thing.
If you only seen the theater cut, I would argue that you might not actually have seen it properly. that really
whatever.
That really was like, I was like, wow, this is a lot stupider if the characters just explain how they're feeling at every moment.
I mean, to be fair, it's like I was, like 15 or something when I watched that on TV.
Oh, okay,
so,
fair enough.
Maybe that's one of those things that's definitely worth it. I mean, it's like we're going to be talking about Flashback and everything. That would probably be worth a revisit.
Yeah.
Considering the sort of, that, like, especially Terminator, this game borrows from so heavily.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody's going to argue that one. I mean, for God's sake, it's just like he's doing the whole, like, gun thing.
Yeah.
It's like they're not shy about the inspirations here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like if only they just made these guys not immune to melee. It's like if only Conrad knew that it's just like you can use a gun point blank. Yeah, it's not usually how you use a gun, but you can,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So looking at this, I'm noticing are the sprite animations. They seem actually rather impressive for its time. Like in terms of like the character like pressing buttons and like the way that
he was all rotoscoped and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was I didn't realize that was also like the sprite animations. I thought it was just like those cutscenes. But yeah, no, that looks good.
Oh, don't worry, we're gonna get some more cutscenes at the end of this. Which,
Sure
yes, they're so good.
Yes.
Also, yeah, when you get up to this floor, should have stayed. Whatever. Yeah, and then still not enough. But yeah, when you get up to this floor, make sure you go left.
Mm-hmm.
Time it right. See, that's the whole puzzle aspect of it. Yeah, it's like make sure you don't go to the right, otherwise you're not going to open up the door to the actual elevator, and you'll have to redo the entire thing.
What's funny is, okay, so a couple things. So we're doing this after the fact, like this is a video that we're doing post commentary on, and you were getting really frustrated just like watching that guy that drone shoot, and this is on your best run. So this is
No, this is actually, that is something to talk about here. Where it's just like prior to this point, I had been trying to like, have clean runs and everything. But it's just like, what, I was taking so long in between each one of these episodes. Let's just get the winning run that I did. You should still be getting hit by that, by the way. They can get hit by those mines, and you'll see that later, but
yeah,
whatever. Yeah, it's like, no, prior to this point, I was trying to get, like, a good clean run for the videos. But here, I'm just like, this is taking long enough. Let's just record me playing this. And when I win it, then I'll edit it together. And
yep.
Sometimes you get stuff like me messing up the gun turret. Mm-hmm. It's like, I know exactly how the gun turret works. You walk through the laser, and it shoots at you. It's not difficult. But, at the same time... Should just ran up on top of the elevator there. Yeah. Thankfully, they do give you a lot of energy generators, so running out of shield is not a big deal. Like, actually exploiting those things is something that I'll have to... no interacting with the wall there. Mm-hmm. Exploiting the energy generators and everything is going to be something that comes up an awful lot in the next episode, because I've already gone through quite a bit of that, actually. Mm-hmm. There we go. See, it's like just getting close to them, because they do have trouble hitting you in melee, but the little zappy orbs still hit you anyway.
This game seems so frustrating to play.
It's better if you're like it takes a little bit to get used to, but to be honest, I was really enjoying this section. This was actually pretty fun.
Yeah,
especially this upcoming bit, which is just like is some real like figure out exactly how the entire game works and then just like execute it flawlessly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, it doesn't activate there, it does activate there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this save point, this was maybe the part of Death Tower that took the longest.
Mm-hmm.
Does live up to its name, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
Nope. It was a good try, though.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I could have made that. Now, whatever. But yeah, as you can see, it's just like figure out exactly how to thread all of these mines and bombs.
Mm-hmm. Why can't you roll through it? Like
oh, it still hits you if you roll through it. Oh. You're not the cyborg guys. Those cyborg guys, they have a very good ability to deal with those mines. I don't.
Ooh, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's like there are like a lot of enemy interactions and everything that do come up, but usually you can't really force it as much as you want to. Yeah, that's especially the place where the cyborg can just get the melee off before you for some reason.
You ever play?
I think it's some important tech.
Oh yeah.
The cyborgs do not get up. The cyborgs do not die from fall damage in the same way Conrad does. However, they don't get up until you're on the same x-axis as them, unless you leave the screen and come back.
Yeah.
Which is why I just kind of like had, because otherwise it's like if you get down there, two of them get up at the same time and they just shoot you to death. It's can't deal with that. But yeah, figuring that out was super important for actually like dealing with a lot of these guys later on.
Can I ask? Have you ever played that Tetris for the SNES?
Which one?
I think it would be like maybe Super Tetris. It's one of those.
No, I don't think so.
The one with the cutscenes with those like those guys doing those funny things that are like, you know what I'm talking about, and like those puzzles. You had to play like a bunch of Tetris puzzles. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm actually not familiar with that.
Okay. Oh wow,
I feel like I should be, but
you,
if I saw it, I would probably remember.
You probably would, yeah. And so I'm just kind of picturing like just that thing with where you throw the enemy on the bombs and they cascade. I was just thinking like, you know, it's just like do that. Like there's a huge puzzle where you just like you shoot one person, you have to shoot him in the exact right place, but then he falls over backwards and causes a cascade that just blows up the entire facility.
I mean, if only. The Death Tower is not a great place. I don't know if you've noticed. And yeah, there was the whole thing where I was talking about, like, they can activate the mines, and that is actually, like, useful for you. Because they're clearly intended to do that there. And then the whole, like, switching back and forth between the areas comes up.
Also, those two
pretty obviously there.
Perfectly overlaid enemies. That's really funny.
Whatever, it made it easier for me to take them out.
Just imagine like the 3-dimensional of like view of that. Like they're just two guys side by side, like just trying to shoot you and going up perfectly in sync.
Right on top of the same mine too.
Yeah,
it's like this is easy. I mean, it's easy if you know that they reset after. Like they keep the same amount of health. They just reset after you leave the screen.
What do you do here? This is interesting.
Whatever. Look, there's an energy generator right there. I can just go get back my shield charges.
That was like a Gordian knot like logic there. Like, oh yeah, well, what do you do? Well, how are we ever gonna, you know, undo this knot? It's like Alexander's like, just cut it. Fucking just roll over
jump
onto
right
the mine.
into it.
You'll be fine.
Regen all your hit points. Okay, man. This is again where it's just like combat. Like this is where I would have done it like a lot cleaner or something if I wasn't just showing you the winning run. But it's just like, yeah, this is just straight combat, and it is a lot of guys to fight. They also have extra hit points now, which is a lot of fun too. So you have to shoot them like 5 times instead of, not climbing up there. You have to shoot them like 5 times instead of 3 as they were before. At least get a nice save point right there. But they also, all the cyborgs do have the ability to pretty easily figure out where you are. They have like a patrol, as you can see right now, which I did not realize at the time, but there he is.
This patrol is so silly. This game is so silly.
I enjoy it. I think it is just like prime old school. Okay, that should have hit me. Like I don't know what happened there.
Absolute chaos by like 2 figures. Just
Conrad, please just shoot the gun. Look, you've done this so much before. You're supposed to be like a college student. I don't even know how you. There's where the whole extra hit points thing comes in. I don't even know how he learned how to shoot this way, but whatever. Just be glad there's not like limited bullets. So yeah, again, would have done that a little bit cleaner if I, only no hits left. Good stuff. Look, I solved the puzzle. Isn't that enough?
Yeah. Honestly. These puzzles look really, really tough, though. I mean, seriously, like, just so much precision.
You saw that. It's like, just figuring out, like, every single little mechanic. No, I know you might not like the game all that much. I do. I do really like this.
No, I really like it, too. Like, I mean, I have fond memories of playing games like this kind of Commander Keen, like, really lo-fi stuff. I mean, this is a little bit more, quote-unquote, realistic, but it's still very silly. Like...
Oh, I loved Commander Keen back in the day.
Yeah, that was
Only
awesome.
ever got the shareware versions of them, Commander Keen 1 and 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I still played the hell out of them, and I got like all the rescued all of the elders in like the 4th game and everything.
Nice.
You got to see like the dope fish. Told you, 0 hit points, not easy. And then here's where I just was just like, you know what? Just let him come to me.
Mhm.
Look at the extra hit points once again. Like, they can really take a beating here.
Mhm.
I'm honestly surprised that they let you into Death Tower with a gun, but I don't know how else you would do it otherwise.
Well, I mean, it's not. It's clearly they're pretty agnostic on who dies. Like it's it's a TV.
I guess.
Like it's a reality show. They just want to know who's gonna win.
And the answer is Conrad, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to get to Earth and stop the alien invasion and whatever.
What,
Also, it is a tower, so it does get smaller as you go upwards. That's kind of thought that one out. I like that.
Now, I have to ask, this idea of like a game show that's like deadly, like kind of like Hunger Games. Or,
Definitely Running Man.
Okay.
They definitely saw the movie Running Man, and they're like, we're going to do that.
Okay, fair enough.
It's like early 90s? Hell yeah.
Or Logan's Run, perhaps, as well.
Yes!
Oh my god, is that Trump?
Yeah, it's Donald Trump. Oh, I love these cutscenes so much. They're so good. This is definitely the like era of 3 people that made this game.
Yeah. This is such a wild remember the ship from the beginning cutscene.
Yeah, hey, you remember, I'm going from the Titan all the way back to Earth.
By the way, one of the biggest production costs is that they had to build these spaceships and then film them going into outer space, and then they had to do like the rotoscoping filter so it would fit on the SNES or the what console was this? Was this just PC?
Super Nintendo and PC.
Okay.
I think maybe Amiga was original.
Okay.
This definitely feels like an Amiga game.
Okay.
Anyway, next time, Earth.
Oh, that was it?